When I found out my wife was cheating, it felt like my whole world had been ripped apart. We had been married for 8 years, and I thought we were solid. But one evening, I saw a string of flirty messages on her phone from a guy I didn't know. My stomach dropped. When I confronted her, she didn't even bother denying it. Instead, she smirked and said I had been boring lately and she deserved more excitement. That was the moment I knew I wasn't going to fight for her love. I was going to take my pride back in the most unexpected way possible. The first few days after the discovery, I acted like I was hurt but still trying to work things out. I wanted her to think I was hanging on. The more she believed I was desperate, the better my plan would work. In reality, I was already strategizing my exit, but not before I left her confused, jealous, and regretting her choices. I decided I would make her think I had found someone else, someone better, and then vanish. I started changing my routine. I stayed out late, came home smelling of cologne she didn't buy me, and kept my phone face down on the table. I even started smiling at my screen like I was reading sweet messages. She noticed. The first few days, she pretended not to care, but I caught her sneaking glances at my phone when she thought I wasn't looking. A week later, I accidentally left a receipt for an expensive dinner for 2 in my jeans pocket. She found it while doing laundry. Her expression was priceless, confusion mixed with annoyance. That night, she asked me casually if I'd been out with friends. I just smiled and said, something like that. I could see the gears turning in her head. To make it even more believable, I created a fake social media profile with a woman's pictures, all royalty-free images so no one could trace them. I made sure the account was private, but had just enough suggestive posts tagged with locations I had recently been to. Then, I casually left my phone unlocked on the couch with one of her pictures on the screen when I went to the bathroom. By the end of the month, her attitude had completely shifted. She was dressing up more, cooking my favorite meals, and trying to start conversations like nothing had happened. The woman who had once flaunted her affair in my face was suddenly competing for my attention. That was when I knew she was feeling the same jealousy and insecurity she had once caused me. One night, she finally broke. "Who is she?" she demanded, her voice trembling. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "Why does it matter? We're done, remember?" Then I walked away, leaving her standing there speechless. That was the last proper conversation we ever had. I had already rented a small apartment in another part of the city under a different name. I moved my essentials there slowly over 2 weeks, bringing only a bag or 2 each time so she wouldn't notice. The night before I left for good, I staged one last scene. I told her I was going away for the weekend, and made sure to pack a bag with nice clothes, letting her think I was off to see my new woman. The next morning, I left the house without saying goodbye. I didn't answer her texts, calls, or the dozens of messages she sent over the next few days. She went from angry, to pleading, to apologizing, to furious again. I ignored them all. I had already blocked her on my main number and social media. The phone I left behind was just for her to scream into the void. 2 weeks later, I filed for divorce. She was served at her workplace, and from what mutual friends told me, she was humiliated. She tried calling from different numbers, but I had gone full ghost. No response, no explanation, just gone. The best part? Because of the way our finances were set up, she got nothing from the split except her personal belongings. I had moved all my savings into a private account before she even knew I was leaving. My lawyer made sure she couldn't touch a cent. Months later, I heard she had broken up with the guy she cheated with. Apparently, he had been cheating on her, too. Poetic justice, if you ask me. I didn't feel sorry for her. She had made her bed, and now she was lying in it, alone. As for me, I started fresh. New apartment, new routine, and eventually, a new relationship with someone who actually respected me. The feeling of walking away without looking back was the sweetest revenge I could have ever imagined. Sometimes people think revenge has to be loud and dramatic, but mine was quiet, clean, and final. She thought she was replacing me with someone better, but in the end, I replaced her with peace. And that's a trade I'd make every time. In the end, the woman who once thought she could break me was left chasing a ghost. And that ghost was never coming back.